nights are getting shorter, lack of energy I'll conquer. In my soul, this is real. These nights are getting shorter. In my soul, this is real.
Hello, hello, and happy Monday. How are we doing today? I hope everyone's having a good one so far. Let's go, Jake, Xavier, Pat Rack, Jake, Tangy Man, Chill, My Views, what's going on? SPY is pulling back once again. As we know, September's here. We're in a pretty crazy month. Don't be surprised if the market continues to have crazy price action like this. Embrace it. Don't fight it. At open, initially, we're even falling off there. The first few 1-minute candles are red, at least the first two. We do got a green one trying to hold up, but nonetheless, a lot of bearishness already this morning. Big drop off with the futures, of course. Gold, though, doing pretty well. You know, another gap up, which I'm sure a lot of you thought was going to happen if you followed gold futures at all. But nonetheless, it is up above 320 here today. SLV up again as well, pulling back initially at open, but still great PA overall. SPY pulling back. As you guys know, looking at the watch list, Lucid is up 800%. I'm just kidding. There's a split. There was a split. A 1 for 10. Reverse split makes their price a little higher. And they are falling day one. They're not really up 800%, guys. Could you imagine if that was really the case? Could you actually imagine that? That would be pretty wild. $800%. I said my SPY puts. I left 2 runners. Hell yeah. You'll be happy with those, Mason. Let's go. Fab says Monday. Oh, it's Tuesday. You're right. Sorry. We're kicking off the week anyways. Almost every other week of the year, Monday kicks it off. But Tangy Man says ACI is up. What the heck's that? Ark and Chemicals. You hitting us with a new one today, Tangy? Left those 2 runners. Hell yeah, you'll be happy with that for sure. He said ACL. Oh, I got you. What is Albertsons? For some reason, TradingView did not like either one of those tickers, but we found it. Hood's below $100, Jake said. HOOD falling down again today. Look at the daily chart of Robinhood here. It is a pretty big sell-off starting to ensue. Chris said, will it fall more? It definitely has that setup where it could easily fall more. This is a setup that is pretty bearish overall. I like how it's below 100 here. I think that shows that there could be some sell-off coming into play. Definitely some big levels. 102 was the real breakdown. Obviously 100's big too, but 102 was such a good support last week. Once that broke in pre-market, it was game over here. It is coming back now, but that was a good drop at open. Jake said everything will. It could be the case, you know. There could be just a market-wide pullback going on, and I feel like that's mostly the case here, especially like if we look at our watch list. And the only stocks green are weird stocks like Pfizer, Pepsi, McDonald's, stuff like that, right? But the stuff that's in the red are like, I don't know, Google, Amazon, Oracle, Navitas, Shopify, Intel, Nvidia, APLD, Hood, CGC leads the way. Now those aren't very surprising, but CoreWeave's down 6.5%, CRWV. Good old CoreWeave. Like to see that drop off there from about 103.50, touching resistance and falling back. The VIX, the volatility index, popping. We all like to see that, don't we? Love it, Jake. I like it when VIX goes up. A lot of traders don't because they might only want the market to go up. But nonetheless, I love it when VIX pops because it means that options start going crazy. The crazier the options can go, the, well, more money you can make. To put it simply. And then when they get too crazy, it's the perfect environment to start shorting them. So it's like a win-win. Even if you don't play the first part, just wait for them to get a little overpriced and boom. Unless we get like a 2008 sell-off. But again, that's pretty rare. What's up, Demure? Hope you're having a good one today. We love seeing that VIX the way that it is. SPY is pulling back a little bit now. It's getting a little back and forth here at open, but how was it? How was it? Today is the, this week is going to be opening week for foosball. Everybody that's in the fantasy football for StockedUp, I'm sure you know, opening day is Thursday, right? Oh, I see somebody else has a Autumn's made 5 moves already. Jets 2026 has a, Ryan, I should say, has a co-partner, co-manager. Demir wants to scalp it to the downside, but with the way pre-market fell, it might pop back a little. It could. That was a pretty big move down. I could see it going a little lower, but again, I don't think it's going to be as clear as just straight down like you're saying. So far, we're coming back pretty well. Look at that green candle there on the SPY, actually. Not bad. Looking at the news really quick. Just might not be the news, but just looking at some headlines. TSMC says, we have received notification from the U.S. government that VEU authorization for TSMC Nanjing will be revoked. Whoa. TSM said this. Look at how much they fell in pre-market, but they came back. It said effective December 31st. Maybe they'll have an agreement by then, but there's going to be something where the government's probably going to get like 3% or 5% or something of all their chip manufacturing sales or something weird. I don't know what the number's going to be, but didn't Nvidia just do that? I think it's 15% with Nvidia. At least the chips sold to China, though. Let's see. Yeah. Nvidia and AMD, yep, to pay 15% of chip sales to the U.S. government, yep. I see a Yahoo Finance article, which is the most recent one I'm seeing. It says they still haven't finalized the deal. They're trying to finalize a deal to get rid of the 15%, I guess, tax, you'd say. I don't know. Maybe you wouldn't classify it as a tax, but the 15% fee either way. Jin said, what about Apple? Don't they also have to pay more? Not like Nvidia. Nvidia, since they do specific chip sales, see, they had special stuff put on them because apparently the chips are so powerful that there could be a matter of national security. So they don't want China to necessarily have like these AI chips. At the end of the day, they're probably going to get them, but that's really what it came down to. And so those chips had special restrictions, and they even had to quit selling them to China for a period of time. Nothing like Apple. With Apple, it's going to be like, okay, they might get a tariff fee or something, which is fine. Nvidia probably has that too, but nonetheless, it's nothing like Nvidia's dealing with like export restrictions or not being allowed to sell to China or certain countries and things like that. Now they're getting through it. You know, Nvidia's getting through it. They're fine. They're working it out with Trump, of course, and there's licensing now allowed to allow this to happen, and things are going pretty well on that front for them. But it sounds like they're gonna get a deal going eventually where they're not gonna have any restrictions really at all. So that would be a good deal, but so far it hasn't come. Here's Nvidia on the daily. It's rejecting really hard overhead. 184, 185 resistance is holding up for sure. Earnings could not help them last week. They are going green from open today, but I'm not saying that that's necessarily the best thing either. While they are green from open, they're not really catching up to pre-market highs by any means. I know, right? Lucid looks like it's up 800%. I like how on TradingView they pop up this message. Do you want to adjust your drawing objects? Sure. They even adjust my drawings. Look at that. That's pretty neat, I'll say. Not many... Well, I don't know. There's probably a whole bunch that do it now, but... Thinkorswim might automatically do it. Yeah, Thinkorswim automatically does it. That's why I don't even notice it. They don't even ask. They're like, yep, we're just going to adjust it. It makes sense, I mean. Oh, Mason has lines at his cost average. Your average should change now, right? 1 second, 1 second. All right, all right. Yeah, now your average is 23.45. Okay, okay. Yep. I figured they would do that. Sometimes they might be delayed, but nowadays they're pretty good with it. That's good. Lucid's down 3.7% today with the split. Now, guys, it was a reverse split, just so you are aware. Reverse splits are generally pretty bad. Generally, companies that start reverse splitting, if they start falling, there can be some brutal stuff going on. Now, Lucid actually just broke support on this reverse split, so it's not a good thing to see at all for Lucid. Not at all. Kyle said crypto is jumping a little bit. Oh, wow. Bitcoin is coming up off support. That's a pretty perfect support there on Bitcoin, too. Right around 108,000. Oh, my Nvidia about to touch 172. Good thing I made a good scalp. There we go. Man, Bitcoin looks fire off that support. How about Ethereum? Trying to come up off the dip a little bit. Not as good as Bitcoin looks like. XRP is right on support too. I don't have that support labeled, but I'm going to put it on there right now. Pretty big area. A lot of bounces close to this level anyways. Recent low was around 2.73. Yep. And it bounced right there again. Pretty close. Nothing's ever perfect, right? Pretty rare. Sometimes you'll have a perfect support hold, but normally a little bit of a range is something that you have to look at. Palantir at open is ripping. Those are some great green candles here on Palantir. Pretty fantastic this far. Almost back to pre-market highs, actually, which is break even. It's only down 0.5% right now. You're probably like, 0.5%? That sucks. Well, not compared to where it was. If you're just listening out there and you're not looking at the chart, Palantir is coming back pretty well. One of the better recoveries, I would say, of the morning. Let's throw up Mag 7. Got SPY recovering back. It's only down 1% now. Well past the opening price. A lot of the Mag 7's pointing up. Microsoft, Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, Meta, Amazon, they're all starting to point up. Go back to that SPY. trying to come back, but just not having a lot of good momentum here. Looking at the 1 minute, as we zoom in on it, you can see it does seem pretty green, but it's not necessarily like super bullish. While it is coming back today, it's still down 1%. I wonder where it's going to end the day today. That's going to be a big question. Let's throw a poll out there. Where will SPY end up today? I guess we'll just look at the gap fill there. It's up to 644. I'm curious what you guys think here. All right, here we go. Where will SPY end up today? Between 636 and 640, between 640 and 644, below 636, or above 644. Curious what you think. There's a few different ranges there. I tried to pretty much get everything included. And this is the closing price. Where will it end up? What's up, Rick? Says, I'm late. Good morning, all. How is everyone? Good, good, good. Market's trying to make a comeback today, Rick. Now, the market is down a lot, though. Down 0.9%. Got a lot of tech stocks trying to recover, though. Most are still red, but they are attempting some recoveries. You'll see, like, Walmart not really doing too much today. They tried to run it open. Couldn't get it done. Target, same deal, pulled back a little bit. PGT. Palantir is one of the better recoveries today. Almost back to break even on the day. Got a few stocks up in the green, as we can see on the watch list on the left. Lucid up 800%. Everybody's favorite. No, it's not really. They had a reverse split. 1 for 10. So it seems like they're up 800%, but they actually dipped down quite a bit from open. They're down 4%. Look at that opening move too. That opening move was even worse. Yeah, Jen, I was just giving some general areas there. They only let you do 4 possible answers, so it's tough sometimes. On Discord, you can do like way more than that. Yeah, Rick, mainly right now, just September. There's not really anything necessarily like causing the sell-off, like no big news, you know. Go check out last night's video if you haven't seen it, for sure. We go over quite a bit regarding September. But yeah, September is the main culprit here. Wow, Kraft Heinz is splitting up into 2 different companies. That's pretty insane. I bet a lot of you didn't know that. It's such a weird stock. I wouldn't be surprised. Bit strange, right? I wonder if they're going to split up between Kraft and Heinz, of course. They're going to undo their old merger, essentially. That's so weird. Look at this. Kraft Heinz will split into 2. They'll reverse much of the $46 billion merger envisioned by Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway and private equity firm 3G Capital. Wow. Shares of Kraft Heinz have slid roughly 60% since the merger closed in 2015. That's a pretty crazy headline. One of Warren Buffett's mistakes, I think we would say. Not very often you have mistakes from good old Warren Buffett, but Warren Buffett here, not the best with Kraft Heinz, that's for sure. Now, I've traded Kraft Heinz a few different times over the years, but I never really stuck with it or bought and hold for the long term. I always sold out. There was a good support range on Kraft Heinz right here, and generally, you could buy into this and do very well. But I started to notice some weakness and some overall downtrend, and we can see it's in a big downwards channel. So I eventually quit playing that support back up, but nonetheless, worked out pretty good when I did trade it up or buy shares on some dips, averaging in a little bit. But nonetheless, it fell off quite a bit now. That's a pretty big dip recently, down to 25, 26. I haven't really touched it, but it's interesting, right, that they're undoing a lot of that merger here. Yeah, it says splitting up will allocate the right level of attention and resources to unlock the potential of each brand to drive better performance and the creation of long-term shareholder value. The transaction is expected to close in the second half of 2026. So sounds pretty good. It's nothing crazy. I'm sure you guys are like, Kraft, get that off my screen. It's an interesting headline. Whether it was Intel or Kraft or Nvidia or anything, it would be interesting. Pepsi shares are up 4%. Elliott took a $4 billion stake. Really? Pepsi. Yeah, very nice jump by Pepsi. Right off the trend line. McDonald's is to expand their value menu. Uh-oh. I swore I wasn't going to talk about food today, and we've already talked about Kraft, and now we're talking about McDonald's. Uh-oh. Mason picked up 5K more SPLG. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. They got cheaper. Your Big Mac meal's 10 instead of 13. Did you actually notice a price drop on the food? They're bringing back its extra value meals. What's that? They'll save 15% on the combo meals compared to buying these stuff separately. Okay. including a bunch of different breakfast stuff. Big Mac, 10-piece chicken nuggets, quarter pounder burger, and McCrispy sandwiches. Okay. Either way, interesting headline again. Looking at McDonald's stock, it is actually pointing up here. It's been in a pretty good uptrend recently too. At least for McDonald's. Demir goes, I'll stick with In-N-Out. I don't blame you. Is Nvidia rejecting right now? Yes, it is. It just hit 172 resistance, a pretty big level from pre-market too. Just above 172, more like 172.40. Rejected very close to that. Just above the resistance that we had, but it is rejecting now. We'll see how it continues. It doesn't mean it's necessarily rejecting back down towards the low of the day. Considering the back and forth so far today, I am going to be careful of a possible support bounce around 170. Yeah, I like how you said, let's find out. Tesla too, Jake said. Yeah, a little rejection out of Tesla. Not quite as big as Nvidia so far, but definitely pulling back a little. SPY touching 640. Very good overhead resistance there. CTM's up pretty heavy, Xavier said. CTM. Castellum. 16%. I don't think I've seen Castellum before. I'm sure it's on your radar, though, because it's up so much today. How's the volume? That's okay. Not as high as recently, actually, but pretty good, I guess. Maybe for only being in the morning. Castellum. Bounced off $1 recently. That's a good bounce at $1, though. Very good hold. How's Apple? A lot of the Mag 7 here still attempting these comebacks. They're coming back pretty well. Apple's one of the better movers, though. It's been one of the more consistent ones. It dipped it open, and it's come back, though, very well. It's holding its ground better than Tesla above it or Microsoft on the top right. Holding well and above. Make sure you guys vote in the poll, and at the same time, destroy that like button, too. Let's go. Let's get those numbers up. It says, where will the SPY end up today? Between 636 and 640? Between 640 and 644? Below 636? Or above 644? There's a lot going on. I know above 644 is pretty far away, so that would be pretty rare. I'm not surprised to see that one coming in last, but SPY coming back up off the bottom. 636 bouncing a little bit. Not the best comeback, though. I know that we've been looking at it quite a bit. Nvidia has pulled back pretty well. It is pushing that 170 support now. Continuing to drop. Pretty clear rejection there. Raul says CNC is moving up. CNC is a fun stock. Centene. A lot of people are watching the recovery on CNC. There was that big money trade, $58 million back from July 3rd. Now, that was a long time ago, but they have a lot of time. So, we're only really 2 months in. They have out till January of 27, so we're not even in 26 yet. Either way, Centene is coming back. And the cool thing about Centene that actually is so interesting, Raul, and I'm sure you know this, but again, anybody listening in, CNC has been bought up even by congressmen. There's a few famous congress people that like to trade stocks quite a bit, and they've bought up some Centene. It's very interesting. The options are fairly easy to buy off the dips. There we go. Yeah, getting on some little pullbacks on CNC. Not a bad strategy. Tesla's coming back down to test the wedge. Look at the daily wedge on Tesla here. It tried to break out last week and ended up falling back down, but nonetheless, now it's coming back to test the trend line, test the wedge. We'll see if it can end up breaking out or not. I am going to be watching this 325 support. It's very close to there from today. It hit in pre-market very close to 325, and I will be watching that as a level to break down for Tesla. Hopefully that's not the case. Give me just a moment. I'm going to go grab a quick water. Appreciate that, Xavier. You were correct. Sorry about that, guys. My daughter started screaming at me. Good morning, Chase. Hope you're having a good one. I'm not going to put words in Mason's mouth, Xavier, but generally buying SPLG for the longer term, averaging in on dips is a pretty smart way to go. Sorry about that. QQQ pulling back slightly. Same with the SPY. Touch resistance, now pulling back. SPY bounced right off of 640. It's exactly why I named 640 as a level on our poll here. 50% of you voted for between 636 and 640, which is a pretty big range, you know, $4 range. And that's the range the SPY is in, so that should be winning the poll, like it is, but nonetheless, SPY ended up hitting perfectly at 640. Go to sleep then, Chase. You're going to have to go to sleep. Mason says, surprise Chase is alive. I'm worried about this NFL fantasy. Hopefully I can do well. I had something funny happen at golf this weekend, Mason. It was pretty cool. It was pretty sick. I was golfing with one of my best buddies, and he said, hey, get there early today. He's like, we need to talk about something. And I was like, oh no. So he has a wedding coming up, and I was sitting there thinking like, oh no, he's gonna cancel the wedding, or something's going on, right? You'd laugh, Mason. He bought me some custom engraved Vokey wedges that have his wedding date stamped into them, and it says best man on there. It was so cool. I was sitting there thinking there was like a problem, and yeah, he pulls out this Titleist box, and I was like, what the hell's this? And he's like, open it up, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was insane. Yup, SM10s, yeah. Yup. Custom stamped and everything. It was cool. Or struck, or whatever you call that. I was blown away. Go check out some Tesla here. Moving up, 333, very nice resistance. Tesla's trying to come up and make a new high from open. Now, it wouldn't be a high of the day quite yet, but a high from open if it does break 333. Yeah, I don't know what to do with the football team here. I'm gonna have to text him. Not buying anything till later today. First day of classes as well. Whoa. First day of classes. Good luck, Ryan. Chase said I lost my phone last night. Hey, do you guys know where I ate yesterday? I ate at the Cracker Barrel, CBRL. And their stock went down. No. I had to go make sure that their logo was correct. I was going to yell at them. It was still correct, so that's good. Looking at Cracker Barrel, though, I've been watching them to see if they could actually break above key resistance here at 63. Unfortunately, today, they are pulling back again. Quite a bit, actually, down 6%. But I have been watching and waiting for that possible breakout. It just has not been something that has come. I thought maybe with the logo change and, you know, the reversion back to their old logo might end up making them pop and break out. But they ended up pulling back very hard today. So not really on the radar any longer. QQQ's pulling back too, but they're always on the radar. Looking at the 5-minute on QQQ, it pulled back a little, touched off 563.50, and is now pushing back towards the high of the day. I could see it pushing above that high from open, actually. High from open's right around 565.70. I could see him getting to 566 plus. Whoa, WEC. WEC's killing it on GLD. GLD is so explosive, WEC. It's hard to let go. They said on Thursday I grabbed 2 calls, 313s to hold for a little while, hold for a little swing. They are up like 55% today. Is this a situation where I should take profits since they are the October expiration? Or like shave one and leave one to ride more potential in this market? I think that there could be more potential in this market. So, number one, that's kind of the very first beginning statement. Like, there definitely could be more potential here with gold, with GLD. You're up 55%, which is pretty solid. Now, it does expire in a little while. You could probably end up doing much better than that. But at the end of the day, it's always safer to scale out, and I like that you're thinking there about shaving one, leaving one. Now, for people that might not know the correct terminology, that's essentially scaling out. What you're going to do is you're going to cut one contract, you're going to let the other ride, and essentially, since you locked it in, it puts you in the driver's seat. So just keep that in mind, WEC. You're in the driver's seat. And at the end of the day, shaving one is always the smartest idea, because you're going to want to lock in profits, and then you can use the house money to ride that second one, and you can just let it go. And I know that you might look back at it, if it goes up a lot more, you might look back at it and go, well, I could have held two. Again, it's not always the smartest decision, though. What if it pulled back and ended up falling more, right? Then there's a problem. No problem, Weck. It's always better to make that smarter decision. Always. GLD's crushing it, though. Up 1.35%. There will be some red days mixed in here soon. You'll probably be happy. Jin's up 253%. Wow. You just got another contract for 322. Yeah, gold is on fire. Look at B2 Gold Corp. Even it's running quite well today. How's B, Barrick? It's up. It dipped it open. It actually went red for a second, but it's up in the green by a lot now. Once again. What's up, Ches? When you have a leap on GLD that doesn't expire till like June of 27, you love days like today. Oh yeah. Yeah, you do. That's for sure. Be careful of the scammers out there, guys. A lot of scammers out there. Always be careful. Make sure you see the hashtag warning in our Discord server for sure. Make sure you see that channel. It's at the top of general, in the general section. What's up, John? Always, man. Always at it. Chase said hashtag cancel fake mics. Get him out of here. Turn off the lights. Citigroup pulling back a lot today. What's up with the banks? Moving quite strange here. JP Morgan rejecting at 300. That's a bad level for them. Banks make less money with lower rates. True. That is true. Everybody's front-running J-Pow again. Haha, yeah. Jerome Powell coming out. Let's refresh the FedWatch tool. Let's see what we're looking at on the September rate cut probability here. Now it's 91.7%. It keeps getting higher and higher. They're almost pricing in a cut in October too, which is October 29th, so it comes out late, but Tom's like the cable guy using Discord to make friends. Referring to the movie The Cable Guy. Oh, gosh. That's a pretty funny movie, you know? That's a movie that's pretty old. I'm surprised, you know, I would bet that like 90% of people in here don't even know what that movie is. That's hilarious that you brought that up, The Cable Guy. I know exactly what you're talking about, how he's kind of nuts. That movie actually had some good actors, man. Owen Wilson, Jack Black, Matthew Broderick, Ben Stiller, and Jim Carrey. That was like quite the rundown, I guess. Came out in 1996. Yeah, it came out before I was born. That's hilarious. Ryan said should have held those gold calls a little longer. It's all right. Yeah, IREN, sure. Irene? Oh, I'm already subscribed. You must have asked me about this one recently. I'm already on it. That's funny. Yep. $30 overhead is a big sell wall. 96,000 shares stacked up there. IREN. Not very many buy walls underneath. $28 is pretty solid, but I guess we have to zoom out more. How's 25? At 25 and 24.50 have like 40k shares a pop. Nothing compared to 30 here though. You were 26. Hey. That's why my dad likes that movie so much, Rick. Isaac is surprised Kraft is moving down. Did you see the news with Kraft today, Isaac? How they're splitting? They're pretty much undoing the merger that they were doing. BT is up. BT, nice Bitcoin stock. Bit Digital. Up 4.09%. It's not up a ton, but it is up a little. Have you seen those VIX calls? How is VIX today? VIX was doing pretty well today, but pulled back. Still up 11% though, so. Oh, wow, that sounds crazy, Mason. Like you have both going at once? That's funny. But one's like a split second off. And Randy Moss catches it in the end zone. The Patriots win again. Rick says, I think all my kids are older than you. Feeling old, had to bring up the cable guy. I love it, Rick. I like those movies like that. Brings back some good memories for me. Oh. Oh my god. Mason, go check out what 100 is put in discussion. Crank though. For 2.5 hours. For 3 hours, actually. Oh man, I'm dead. Fubo's up 6%, Jake said. F-U-B-O. Fubo TV, let's see. Yeah, 6.8. Pretty solid move here. Looking at the daily, it is bouncing very well off like $3.30. Warren Buffett said he's disappointed in the Kraft Heinz split. Oh, there must be some new updates. He told CNBC Tuesday he's disappointed. Oh. It unwinds much of the blockbuster merger he masterminded a decade ago. Well, you know what, Warren Buffett? I hate to say it, man, but that one just it just didn't work out that time, you know? I wish that he would have just said, look, it didn't work out. Instead of saying that he's disappointed in the split, he should just say, look, I can't win on everything, you know? But he's old. He probably don't even know what he's saying right now. Berkshire teamed up with private equity firm 3G Capital 2015 to merge Kraft Foods with H.J. Heinz. 3G Capital quietly exited its Kraft Heinz investment in 2023 after years of periodically trimming its stake as the company struggled. Buffett told CNBC that Berkshire will do whatever is in the best interest of the firm. Which makes sense. So hopefully they get out of Kraft. I don't know if it'll be in their best interest or not, but nonetheless, seems pretty rough for Kraft Heinz today, and they continue to tumble down, now down 5.22% as the move gets worse and worse. Every time we look back, there's just another drop. Jin says, in the end, I made put options. Got you guys. Imagine if that was the case. Obviously, that couldn't be, but... I feel you, Jin. I just realized Hunter's cranking right now. Oh no. I'm glad that like 95% don't know what we mean. 333 resistance on Tesla. Triple topping here. You know, you might even say quadruple topping if you draw it right here. 4 touches and back down. See you later, Demure. Have a great rest of your day, man. You said one more thing. I gotta hear this. You just bought Darkest Hours. Hey, that's pretty cool. Darkest Hours. I used to play the one called Darkest Hour Europe 44 to 45, Demir. It came out in 2008. Here's what it looks like. This is the one I used to play, but this is very old. You know, very old. This is back, like, they were trying to make games like we play, but this was back in the day. Man, this game was fun, though. Brings back some memories. I'm surprised you said Darkest Hour. I haven't heard that one in a long time. That's really cool. Are people, like, starting to play that? Because it seems weird that it would just pick up in popularity or something. Alright, see you later. TSLA. Again, triple topping, 333. I love looking at resistance on Tesla today. It's attempting to break. It's holding up very well towards the upper end of the range. Hunter said, God forbid a man multitask. Look at Tesla's trying to climb here. Small intraday trend, I guess. Nothing crazy. Not even gonna keep that one plotted, but I like the 333 resistance nonetheless. Might be able to see a break, but a lot of tough PA there. Rick says, update, Hunter still thinks Kathy Wood sucks. Oh. Her 5-year plan went out the window a while ago, didn't it? Yeah. Where's that 5-year plan at, Hunter? Isn't she supposed to be back here by 5 years? What the hell, Kathy? What the hell? How dare her?
How dare you?
Whoa! Even Greta is upset with Kathy. Now that's strange. But Hunter, if Tesla didn't split, it would be 30K. No, I'm kidding. I know. Isn't that crazy, Mason? That would be nuts. Yeah, like, even, yeah. Then she said 3,000 post-split. Ryan's been stuck here for the last hour trying to decide my last class. Like, you can't pick one? Take Hunter's fishing class. The fishing class would be the way to go if it was allowed. Then she kept lowering it and lowering it. She's horrendous. She had to finally start buying profitable companies since she couldn't pick a winner for her life. She had 42 companies at one point and was only up on 3 of them. It's true, Hunter. Man, I can't believe how bad it is. Let's see if we can pull it up. Kathy's Ark, right? Oh, here she is. After hearing all those cranking comments earlier, I can't help myself. Alright. Let's see. Where's my favorite one, Hunter? Oh, here we go. Oh. The genomics or whatever. This one's the worst one. I don't know if it is the worst one or not, Hunter, out of all of them. You know, I don't care enough to look. But nonetheless, this one was one of the funniest ones. Hello, Regeneron. No way. You guys know Regeneron, right? Check this out.
Perhaps you recognize me. It's your favorite president. I got back a day ago from Walter Reed Medical Center. I went in, I wasn't feeling so hot. And within a very short period of time, they gave me Regeneron. A short 24 hours later, I was feeling great. And that's what I want for everybody. If you're in the hospital and you're feeling really bad, Regeneron. We have hundreds of thousands of doses that are just about ready.
Oh,
you're going to get better. You're going to get better really fast. Regeneron. Because I feel great. I feel like perfect. I want to get for you what I got. Regeneron. And you'll see some amazing things happen. You're going to get better. You're going to get better fast, just like I did.
I thought, oh, whoever made that needs to get paid for that ad, I think. I know, I'm kidding. That's from a long time ago, guys. That's like from COVID. And I thought it was so good that I actually saved the video. But nonetheless, Regeneron at 33 in the genomics stocks, with the worst weighted one in her court. At least in ARKG. Funny. Tempest is number 1. She had to start following Nancy Pelosi. That's funny. She looks like the Cracker Barrel CEO. Oh no. Wow, Cracker Barrel really pulling back today, guys. I mean, it's still pulling back, down 7% now. Quite the drop. How's Kraft with their little debacle today? Even Warren Buffett's disappointed. It's down 5%. Pretty bad. Let's see how Regeneron's doing, actually. REGN. Pulling back a little bit. $600. Let's go back to the COVID days with Regeneron. You know, Regeneron actually did way better than I thought. Oh, as the years went on past COVID. My gosh, I didn't even realize that they went up that much. Hunter said I would get so mad talking about her. Hunter said their food's so bad regarding Kraft Heinz. Are you regarding Kraft Heinz or Cracker Barrel, Hunter? I don't even know which one you mean now. Tempest was fun to trade over the summer? Hell yeah. Tempest was really good for a little while. Oh, he said Cracker Barrel. That's so funny, man. I ate there for dinner last night, Hunter. Literally ate there for dinner.
And now it's just like, man, you gotta have that time where you just like...
That's so funny that you said that.
just from seeing just the race. Like, and it's a race that I've created in my head, you know? But you have to step away from
I always get their country fried steak. But I mainly really like their fried okra is really the only reason I go there. My friends all work there in high school, so I generally try not to eat there because I know how they make their food. One second. One moment. I'm gonna throw up the Mag 7 setup really fast. All right, all right. Look at Apple pulling back here intraday. Nvidia down 3% now on the day, falling underneath 170 support, dragging down on the SPY, which is down 1.18%. Seeing quite the pullback here out of the overall market. Go to the 1 minute. It's not quite the opening price or pre-market lows. Sorry, it actually is right at opening price, but it's not at like pre-market lows or the low of the day. Quite yet. Still about 1 point off. What do you think about Weeble? Dusty's asking. Weeble, ticker symbol BULL. Kind of a good ticker to get on the market if you think about it. Weeble is a tough one. You know, that is a very tough one here. I'm sure people are going to start to look at Weeble and think it's going to be like a Robinhood, like an HOOD. We can see Hood, after they ended up coming on the market, they ripped initially and died, right? And I'm worried that Weeble could end up dying like that. Now, they already kind of did. They already kind of died off. Again, though, it's not as bad as, like, I don't know. They could go under that low. I'm a little bit worried about Bull. Again, for the longer term, you're probably going to want to look at more like valuation, something of that nature with Weeble, unless you're just expecting a ton of growth out of them, which, to be honest, could be fair. It's just, I would have a good thesis here and just realize that it's a very low price stock. It's $13. It's not been on the market very long, so it's going to have a little bit more risk than a lot of others would. Again, it's like, do you buy Bull or do you just, you know, stick it safe with like SPLG or something? It's tough to say. You'd probably make a lot more with Bull, of course, if it went up, but... Oh no, Tangy man. Rick said, this just in, Kramer and Kathy Wood announced their engagement. We're made for each other. They both can drink Spam. That's probably their favorite meal. Tangy man. You got me speechless out here. Tesla, 5-minute chart. Attempting a nice run. We have 333 resistance, which is nice. I hope Autumn's having a good vacation. I don't know if Autumn's on the cruise yet or not, but nonetheless, shout out to Autumn if she is listening in. Go back to Tessie, my favorite stock of the day, I think. Again, still very stuck. Nvidia pullback. SPY pulling back too. As we know, that Mag 7 setup was pretty down. I mean, I'm sure a lot is weighing on the SPY here. Meta's actually trying to bounce a little bit at 730 support from intraday. Not too bad here for a possible bounce back. I know we were looking at McDonald's earlier, how they're expanding their value menu. Let's just go see what other headlines we're looking at. Warren Buffett says he's disappointed. That's still a funny one to me. Trump can't use National Guard, military in California to enforce the laws. Okay, well, Musk looks past Tesla sales slump, says 80% of value will come from Optimus. Really? Wow, he's now thinking Optimus is going to be their next big player, huh? I'll tell you what. I'd rather buy one of these than buy a Tesla car. Wow. This is pretty interesting. In mid-24, Musk predicted that Optimus robots would someday turn Tesla into a $25 trillion company, which was equal to more than half of the entire value of the S&P 500 at the time of his comment. What this really makes me think of is that movie I, Robot. If you guys have not seen that, you guys need to see I, Robot with Will Smith. It's from 2004, and it kind of shows how, you know, robots could be used, like in society, for example. Now again, look at this, iRobot 2. That's got to be the fakest thing I've ever seen. Literally, they put Elon on there. That's funny. Yeah, people are getting the point. You know, this movie has resurged as, you know, people understand that it's a movie that kind of shows the modern day a bit more than other old movies might, right? From 04. So just watch out for it. It's interesting. Check it out if you haven't seen it. If it happens to be on the TV or something, throw it on. Spy down. Let's look at the heat map. Heat map totally red here on the S&P 500 today. A lot of stocks in the red. I mean, very small green boxes down here. Dollar Tree, Ulta, Roast. I mean, yeah, nobody even. Pepsi, okay. You know, T-Mobile's up, okay. But man, just about everything else is in the red. Boeing slightly up. It's grayed out though, but it is slightly up. That's pretty funny. Let's change our color depth. We'll go 1.5 to 1.5. There we go. I like that better. That way it turns them red if it's over 1.5. Darker red anyways. Ryan said, and CTM is back down. Castellum. That was a pretty wild stock from today, you know, just being honest. That is a pretty wild one. Just keep that in mind. Chill says, I still think about iRobot. I think about how I'll never buy an electric car. That's pretty funny. It was weird in that movie how every car drove themselves and you had to have like a special override system to have your own car that drove. So weird. You think of the Eagle Eye. What is Eagle Eye? Okay, I know Eagle Eye. Yeah, I've seen that from 08. I do remember that one. That's an old movie, though. Again, yeah, old. Not as popular as iRobot, I don't think, but... Open Door is something else, Dusty says. OPEN, Open Door. up 4.7%. Very nice action today. As we can see, the past few weeks, honestly, the past couple months have been amazing on Open Door. So we're seeing some good PA overall. The lady freaked out. Oh, that's funny. I don't remember that part. I'll have to watch that one. That one sounds good. It's been a long time. Long time on that one. SLV over 37, Tangy says. Whoa! Yeah, SLV, GLD, man, killing it. Killing it again. 323.30 here. I'm sure you guys love this in the short term. Look at some news here on Palantir, see if anything's going on. Yeah, Palantir's not really even moving that much today. It dipped in pre-market, popped off support and recovered back, but, you know, Palantir's a wild one. This is how Palantir's been going lately. Let me see here. Nothing too crazy here on Palantir. Yeah, I don't see too much. Yeah, Palantir's been a wild one, though. SPY is coming back down a little bit here, rejecting around 640, 639. Pretty brutal. We're starting to see it come down even more. It's down 1.19% today, which is pretty fire. You can see the average percent rise, percent fall. Not terrible here. It's down way more than average, down past its average. Here we go. Very nice movement by Palantir to get that recovery back, but again, it's not like it's really making a full-blown recovery. We would need to see a good breakout past like 160 to even this high here, 164, which is going to be a tough task for Palantir. You're going to need to find a class for fantasy football. That's funny. Fantasy football class. That'd be kind of cool if they had like a sports science or something. You know, that's pretty neat. Go take statistics if you need another class, or macro or microeconomics or something. Statistics would be a really good one, though, if you haven't had it. Oh, good. Good, good, good. That's pretty awesome. Ooh. Sports science, it was like Deadliest Warrior, but for sports. That's pretty funny. I know, they can get pretty in-depth into some stuff. Back to the SPY, which is still approaching the low of the day. Rejected back down a little bit. Alrighty, guys, I think we're going to call it there. I appreciate everybody for joining up on the first day of the week here. Let's go. Shout out to you guys. Happy Tuesday. I know it's not Monday. I've already said it wrong 8 times. But I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day nonetheless. Have a fantastic one. Let's go. Chase said good night. Yeah, Chase, you need to get some sleep, man. That's funny. All right, see you later. Have a great one.